No kings, but yes, emperor, the godlike sovereign atop the tree of command. We have three classes of rulers. One, the tyrant, the bully, spinning threads of fear. Another, the beloved caretaker, attuned with the needs and hopes of people. And beyond, the unseen sovereign, aligned, balancing, never to be seen or heard of. Then let us shift the lens from concerns of temporal governance into awareness itself, its hierarchy, organization, and chains, trees of command. For our systems, political, economic, what have you, are but products of the workings and structures of our awareness. The patterns in here, in our minds and in the collective mind, become the systems that we engage in managing our civilization. In the kingdom of awareness, we do not tolerate tribal kings rooting for their partisan agendas. They all must capitulate, yield before the sovereign emperor. In here, we have a hierarchy of concerns, tiers of abstraction. Just as in the military, you would have, at the lowest rank, the private, the subject instance, and way up there at the other end, you have the general, literally the general, who oversees the broadest and most abstract field of concerns. So too, in our awareness, we have specific frames of concern. And in these concern domains, we further have their meetings, transitions. Above, at the upper tier, we have the underlying influences. And beyond that, we have the root polarization, the pushes and pulls, the ins and outs, the most general root concerns. Beyond the roots, we have the reflector, the mirror, the throne, the central nexus, there simply to align all things with no agenda of its own, save and except to reconcile, to harmonize, to organize into a wholesome system, all that you are, all that was, all that will ever be. There is the godlike emperor of your awareness. There your true sovereignty. When you are preoccupied with private concerns, even the concerns of the generals, you are yet to be sovereign. You are still preoccupied with segments, with factions of what is. Rise beyond. Consider the classes in your nation of awareness. You have the supporting class, workers, laborers, those who are assigned particular roles in relation to the rest of the society. Then you have the class of the cultivators, those who tend to the cycles of resources. We have those tending to the land. We have those tending to trade. Even the capitalists in this class, foresight, supply and demand. Then we have the regulator class, the organizers, administrators, enforcers, defenders, all there in your nation of awareness. And finally, we have the integrator class, the binders of our civilization, of our culture, of our insights, the philosophers, the priests, the intellectuals, the contemplators, all there in your nation of awareness. Now imagine a world where the Labour Party is sovereign, workers first, labor over all, or a world where the capitalists, the cyclers of economy are sovereign, the rest fall in line to their demands, or a world where the administrators, the enforcers are sovereign, martial law, all shall fall in line, as directed, as commanded. Even a world where the integrators, the philosophers are sovereign, musing in their ivory towers, contemplating on ideals, hypothetical, yet disconnected from the hands-on living reality of our society. Evidently, none of these parties may be sovereign. They all must integrate into a single whole, yield before the transparent emperor, the aligner, the bridger, the reflector of all things, adjust to the system, adapt to the collective, conduct themselves accordingly, rather than any one of them becoming the superior party, more important than the rest of the quad of our living concerns. You are the worker, you are the farmer, you are the administrator, and you are the philosopher yourself. You take these roles in your nation of life and awareness, but if one or the other dominates, you are out of balance. Return to the emperor on the translucent throne at the crest of your awareness. There you will find balance. So no kings, yes, no heads of a party that should rule over the others, not in a system of 4 parties, not in a system of 2 parties. Shall we now cleave the world in 2? The forward-going party, the backward-going party, the party looking into the future, the party looking into the past for reference, the party that is conservative, the party that is liberal. Pit these against each other. What madness! Why would you do that? Integrate, find the middle point, find the necessary balance at any given time between the 2 parties, between the 4 parties, between the 8 parties and the 64 parties that follow. It's an open for all party zone of integration, not a partisan ship sailing into a fixed direction in someone's favor. Nor can we, in a sane world, follow a system where whoever is the loudest gets their way, majority rules. But what if the majority are misinformed or misled? What if whoever holds an agenda rallies the masses to their side, and so the masses vote, and so it shall be, another cycle of the world slanted in a particular direction, out of balance? Truly madness. Let all be organized by their merits, their necessary balance. It's not that in principle it would be impossible to organize society and the distribution of resources in a balanced manner, catering to the needs of all in the collective. But in practice it is very difficult when someone always has to slant it in a particular direction. Balance itself, integration itself are not held as axioms that are sovereign, rather each unto their agenda. This is the driver of imbalance in our world. And as long as you yourself are a little specimen of this imbalance, when you are superior to others, when you must have more than your neighbor, then you will be electing those who side with your interests. And so the world goes to hell in a handbasket on an unsustainable course. This we are witnessing over and over again. One day yet, the collective as a whole will wake up to the fruits of their stance, the subject-focused alignment that leads to fragmentation, that leads to our demise. Root for yourself in isolation. Root for the party of your preference. Entropy ye shall reap. But root for the collective and integrate into the whole. Fuel and support the balance of the whole. Pristine order, harmony, clarity, and peace ye reap. Simple, but alas ever so complicated.